Now remember, this is 2025, in which perpetrators always try to revise every single thing in place of their victims and then try to delineate their existence according to their own, while winning their victimhood over everybody else's actual victimhood, which is what we're seeing with people like this, and we're going to actually spot these manipulation tactics and actually unpack them. Here's some advice for those of you who are worried that Choco may harass you, but you want to voice yourselves, aka here's advice for people who are worried that starting shit with Choco will get you backlash. On your main, block them. However, since they might block away, you're going to want to stay completely quiet about them on your mains. So that way they do not find a reason to start smearing you getting close fake posts. Basically, a fucking fake post about Choco, which is literally this, on the fucking block against Choco, which is meant for smear purposes, which is this one, just like many others have tried. Create an alt account if possible. However, you cannot create an alt account, create a sideblog, and keep it 100% anonymous. Make sure it cannot be traced to your main. This account block can be used to run below whoever you need. Should that block, you turn off anons. It's almost impossible for a block to not be quote-unquote traced if someone has the skill to trace it. If I actually want to trace it, if you'll piss me off enough to trace it, I will be able to, but that's not the point. You have to prepare for. If they ever block your post and not give them the satisfaction of engaging you back, actually try to make you into arguing with them. Yes, the people who are always quietly looking for an argument and try to rage bait towards people's actual experiences, then say that people answering to them are the ones trying to quote-unquote bait into an argument just because they do not accept perpetrators' idea of existence being superimposed into their victims. Yes. Keep ranting, ignore what I have to say. Basically what I should have done with the very beginning with all of you clout chasing cowards, but I refuse to do it because I'm not going to give you the satisfaction to just say whatever you want without it being documented, because all of this manipulation tactics that you'll continue to exhibit deserve to be publicly available, shunned out, and also for people who suffer this very sort of thing to actually be able to know that they have a voice. And just because people like you have a narrative doesn't mean it's right. Also document everything privately. So basically stalk. Look at this. If they're ever looking for positivity and the satisfaction of engaging back, you're actually trying to make you to argue with them. Yes, so as we already have seen, this is the exact fucking opposite. Keep ranting, ignore what I have to say, then also document everything privately. These are your best friends. Keep everything in the document so kind to supremacist. Like, you are a little supremacist. You actually think you get to impose your voice on other people, and you actually think you get to do it on the voice of the people you start shit with, as if you were somehow of greater importance, which you're not. And if we go based on actions, accolades, and things that someone has done for people as a means to actually direct how important or not they are, then you're all in the fucking background. And I will get to steamroll all of you. I mean, I've already done it with quite a few of you who have started things with me. I'm getting you rightfully terminated, so let's continue. In a DM, do not engage. If both of you question, you will get a DM from me. How privileged. But actually, screenshot what they say as with the listen, it just gives them what they want. Yes, what I want to stand my ground against trolls like yourselves, who will do quite literally everything and then try to parasite the opposite talking point to cover it, so it is a waste for the other person not to actually state what is actually happened. For instance, race baiters like you doing the worst things imaginable every time, 24/7, and then after chasing all of that clout for so long all together, covering different points and different smear campaigns, you will turn around and say, by the way, this person's a clout chaser. Don't waste your time with them. Well, you are the ones who quite literally do all these smears and exist exclusively in order to try to isolate, alienate, victim blame, and do anything in your power to control the existence process of somebody else and other people. You're worried they might harass your mutuals. Tell them not to respond in Slack and tell them search anything they say to them and send it to you. So basically, the mutuals who harass people with yourselves, because all of you like doing all this together. Now, they discover your main, do not panic. Look down your ask and say your messages to those you follow only. Do not mention them. That's a great idea, actually. I encourage you all to do that. Not mentioning me will be a wonderful thing, but unfortunately, because you only live in order to leech off my life and my accomplishments because you cannot do anything for yourselves, or then try to delegitimize and parasite and make all of it and appropriate everything else that someone else has done to make it yours while trying to contaminate every single step somebody takes, that's going to be impossible because you cannot exist without putting my name in your worthless mouths. Do not get anything they could even remotely misconstrue. There's nothing to misconstrue. You always start with Strowmans and then you try to describe somebody else's reality for them and when that gets corrected, and you get called out for misconstruing it, you throw tantrums. You can highly recommend staying off timer for a little bit. That's a great idea, actually, for all of you. Preferably forever while you're at it. Since you're taking over help, I understand there's no options for everyone. I never get saying that's not your fault. Yes, it is actually. Sorry to break it to you. You don't get to be comfortable by making people miserable for fun, which is what you'll always do, and then play victim after. Crying wolf. You're not a fool for something you're on the internet that decided to do. A lot of you are adults, and you do this, all of this to children. You're not responsible for their behavior. You're responsible for your behavior that gets a response. You don't need to let them shrink your world. Hilarious, considering your entire ideology and your entire modus operandi is based to try to shrink everybody else's world around you and then try to appropriate their existence process and to make it yours, like you'll try to do with me. I mean, the last video I literally answered was, the last video I literally put forward in regards to yours was literally, some of you fuckwits actually tried to tell me I should be upset about being treated like a sex doll. Like, who the fuck you think you are? Like if there's something more disgusting than that, someone please tell me, because you don't need to let them silence your voice. Exactly the opposite. I'm not going to let any of you silence my voice just because it's popular to yell to do it, or just because you sound palatable doing this. Because the truth does not correlate to your bullshit. You're doing something I am very proud of you. I promise we'll get through this. Anyway, spirals aside and false narratives aside, this was literally one of you. Yeah. This was literally one of you fuckers. So I'm going to actually address this, not only for my benefit, because quite honestly, I don't give the slightest fuck what any one of you makes in terms of excuses, but I'm actually going to unpack this for everyone, because this is one insanely dangerous victim-blaming spiral that doesn't get to circulate around without people actually understanding why this is so fucked up to say. We already explained the minimal edit several times, over 100 times. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to instead go to the next part. Because, like, the fuck you mean ignoring their friend, treating them like a sex toy, and asking people how they like to sexually assault Choco? Hey, cancer, you don't get to tell anybody to be quote-unquote upset over being treated like a sex toy. Ever, under no circumstances is that acceptable to say. One, because even under average circumstances, that is quite literally shaming someone in a position in which they're a sex toy, like you already said. Point number one. Point number two. Have you ever realized that people who want to quote-unquote be sex toys, which is actually extreme response to trauma, is actually because they prefer being objectified than having to share oxygen with a lot of you? Because that's quite literally been my effect. When I have defaulted back into being a sex toy, because either my identity or my boundaries have been fucked around with to an extent in which being not perceived as a person was preferable. Anyway, I'm not going to play out the entire video because you already saw it, but it's actually extremely funny. People like yourselves who do all of this think that you had to suicidal on the fact of this. Because, like, you do realize that people who want to be sex toys to repress experiences are beyond fucking sick and tired of people like yourself, right? Like, you do realize that this is a thing. And the more you try to actually say stuff like this, the more that you make someone prefer being a sex toy than any of the else bullshit. Also, the fuck you mean, ignore what they blah, 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 blah. Why do you think that bully's blog got terminated? I banned it. I was the one that got their blog banned. So shut the fuck up. Because I didn't publicly address it doesn't mean that I didn't get it terminated. But even if I hadn't, it's none of your fucking business. It's my agency, not yours. Ridiculous parasites. But yeah, after all of that, and after this, because I already had to correct so much misinformation, so much of it, you'll got at least 10 of your smears and your smear campaigns documented to go through. And that's only here, not even mentioning YouTube, not even mentioning the Mirmo situation. The things you had done could have killed people, but you don't seem to realize this. That Just because I'm too resilient and I'm too strong for you doesn't mean that you're innocent in any way, shape, or form. And you can gaslight or trick yourselves into thinking that you're exempt from your behavior or pure accountability, but you're not. Anytime you yap my name in a way that deserves a response, is going to get a response. It's going to happen to anybody. Just because you're stalkers doesn't mean that it's harassment to respond to your bullshit. I guess because you start a fight and then try to run away before you get hit and then complain when you get hit doesn't mean that people are not going to retaliate. I can and will always retaliate towards someone's trust with me. It's always been how I work, and it's not going to change for your preference or your comfortable convenience.